Here is your secret weapon for leg locking everybody in your training room. We're going to go over getting into the position from standing. We're going to go putting them down with double leg control. We're going to feed into outside Ashi, Z-locks, which are really spicy, thanks to Jason Rao. And we're going to look at inside Ashi with an outside heel hook finish. So if you want to learn how to do those, keep watching. So when we're performing what's called slide Ashi, we need to think of a couple of things. So we're going to go collar tie, we're going to go wrist control, we're going to get him stepping forwards. Once he steps forwards, I'm going to reach down, I'm going to stay on the collar tie as we actively pull him forward, and we knee slide with our opposite leg to the collar tie in behind the back of this leg. We're going to maintain contact with the back of the calf here. I'm going to slide through, bringing both my knees to my chest. That way, if he sits down, it actually enhances my movement and it stops me from being mounted immediately, because that would be highly embarrassing. We're going to start to take our foot onto the hip to be able to raise our hips. We're going to connect our knee and our heel as close as possible together. We convert this to a deep overwrap, so we've got a tight lock on the initial leg. And if I can't reach this immediately, he's doing good defense, he's stepping backwards, I'll send him that way to off balance him. I'll bring him forwards, I'll claim the back of the knee, not the back of the ankle, back of the knee. I raise my hips, I send him backwards, and now we're in a position to start to attack the legs. Let's give that a go. I'm going to sit him down. We're immediately going to start to go into attacking the legs. So if we want to go to outside Ashi, we're going to take a climber's grip and we're going to start to internally rotate his knee. If I don't do this, the heel's not going to be available when I go looking for it. So you're going to set yourself up perfectly. So I'm going to start to climber's grip. I'm going to take my left foot out and I'm going to place it, my heel, to where his hip meets his torso line. So I'm going to dig that in nice and tight. I'm then going to put my foot over the top of my left foot so that I can protect any inside heel hook counterattacks. And it's also going to suffice to bring this leg towards where I want it to be. If I'm lazy here, you see this all the time from people who are just learning leg locks. They leave their leg down on the floor. They try and grab, they're trying to pull their leg, and his leg is going to be stronger than my arm at this stage. I'm going to go looking for the heel. I'm going to get put on my shoulder and he's going to come up into me, and you're going to go, leg locks don't work, they suck. So left foot is going to plant right at the pocket of the hip here. Your right foot is going to go over, protecting, but it's also going to be used to start to windshield wiper your legs to the inside, and it's going to increase your climber's grip. Again, elbow tight to the body strong, elbow further away from the body. You're going to be trying to use your wrist and your fingers. It's going to be a bad idea, it's inefficient. So we're going to pull our elbow to our ribs. We're going to load his knee towards the inside. We're going to have a shotgun grip to be ready to receive the heel. We're going to pop his heel up and over our forearm nicely like this. And then I'm going to start to keep my heel hooking hand palm down. You don't do it palm up, because now when I connect my hands, I'm not really lifting anything. If I go palm down and I reinforce that by going wrist to wrist or palm to palm, I recommend wrist to wrist for this specific variation. You're actually going to be reinforcing with this hand, pulling this towards your face. Now, you're not going to extend your chest and torso away. This is the mistake that most people make with ankle locks, guillotines, heel hooks, all varieties of where we're using our arm in conjunction with our torso. So we're going to keep everything rolled forwards. I'm going to crunch all of my shoulders and everything together, and I'm going to keep my hands in the exact same position even when I'm lifting. My whole torso is going to move as one unit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly externally rotate my legs. So I'm going to put left hip pressure into the side of his knee this way, and I'm going to put rotation pressure upwards, but using my whole torso. You're not going to need a lot of movement. I'm just going to slightly externally rotate my legs and you'll hear the tap. Ask your training partner if they're getting a sensation right in the side of their knee. For the white belts, you guys aren't using this in training, but it's good to practice to get an understanding. Don't just let your leg go all the way to here until you feel a very hot, warm, fuzzy sensation in your knee and it breaks. Bad fucking idea. First, we're going to take a climber's grip to make sure that his knee's in the correct position. I'm going to take my left foot out. I'm going to bite it right next to the hip. I'm going to convert to a shotgun grip. As I lock my legs, point my knees to the ceiling, making sure that this foot is covered. If it's not, it's going to be a pretty shitty break anyway, and he can start to go to counter inside heel hooks, and this would be very embarrassing. Don't do that. Lock the right way. Use your knees to start to internally rotate his knee as you pop the heel nice and tightly over your forearm here. You're going to keep our forearm with the heel down, or our hand down, as we reinforce with our second hand. Everything's going to be nice, high and tight. As we lift and rotate, we're going to introduce left hip pressure and we'll get a nice tight heel hook. Let's give that a go. The next technique is a Z-lock, made popular by Mr. Jason Rao. And what we're going to do is we're going to go the opposite way. Instead of taking this inside leg out, we're going to take this inside leg over the other way. So we're going to continue to maintain secondary control. I'll go down to the ankle and my elbow will be tucked tight to my ribs so I can prevent his foot from extracting. I'm going to take this foot through the inside, reaping my training partner. Fuck, you got short little legs. Reaping my training partner and tucking my toes underneath his far leg. I'm then going to take a secondary grip as I start to free this foot and pull this leg into a very deep overwrap. What we have to do from here, I might give Juicy a little bit of reprieve here, but ordinarily what we want is this leg not to be compromised so that he can take bites on the ankle or some degree of counter attacks. We don't want to do that. We're going to pull that knee to our chest and we're going to go foot to foot. Is that all right? Yeah. There's going to be a lot of tension. We're going to go foot to foot as best we can. I've got a short-legged individual here, so it might be difficult. From here, we keep all of this nice and tight. We do not want to let this secondary leg go because then the lock isn't going to be effective. We're going to start to look down towards his primary leg and take a bicep scoop underneath where his toes or where his ankle is. We're going to start to, from here, send our chest forwards and our hips backwards. We're going to get a very tight and precise break over this LCL. So yeah, I can't even give that too much. Ashton, come. So we sit him down in Narumi Ashi. We get to double leg control. We maintain double leg control. We pull our elbow to our ribs. We're going to throw a reap in at this stage. I'm going to double up, coming to a nice deep lock over here. We're going to start to go foot to foot in this position. We're going to start to externally rotate his leg very, very, very slowly as we sit our hips backwards and our chest forwards.
Tap.
And it should attack this side of the LCL, similar to the outside heel hook. So be careful when you're doing this. Be careful fighting against a reap. Don't ever turn your knee outwards into this position, even if you're just in a normal reap like this. Do not ever turn your knee this way. If you fight against the reap, you're enhancing their ability to break your leg. If you think about the mechanics of the Z-lock, what I'm doing, is turning his knee in this way and I'm pushing his foot to the ceiling. If he decides to turn his knee into this position, he's going to break his own leg. So whenever you do get reaped in the training room, just go with it. It's good practice. See how he's going with it? He's actually doing the correct thing. Let's give that a go. So we reap, we go for the Z-lock, and for whatever reason, we've managed to lose the secondary leg. We're going to take him back over this direction, locking a triangle with our legs and coming over to this hip. If he tries to defend this style of outside heel, we're calling this inside Ashi basically, because our feet are on the inside, by taking us over here and trying to put us onto our shoulder, we're going to start to post our hand as he tries to do this. This is surprisingly effective. Juicy can lift his hips as much as he wants. I've got a really tight lock on his primary leg and his secondary leg isn't going to be able to build enough height to push me over. If I don't post my hand and do nothing while I'm trying to feed for the heel here, go, I'll face plant every time. So if they try and defend correctly and they try and put you over this side, just post his hand in a premeditative fashion, knowing that that's pretty much his only defense here. The lock on his leg here is extremely tight. It's a very good style of Ashigurami, and he's not going to be able to simply just extract his leg here. So we're going to go shotgun grip again. We're going to lift our hips to pop the heel into that correct position like we were doing similarly to the outside heel hook. And then we're going to start to lock our hands nice and tight. Again, same mechanics, keeping everything nice and tight towards our head, towards our face. And then I'm going to slowly introduce right hip pressure to get an immediate tap. You'll notice that what I'm not doing is getting a dig and lifting. If you're lifting too much, it shows me that your legs aren't doing the correct job and you need to be a little bit more precise with the rotation of this leg. Even with this leg not involved, I get nice and high hands. I start to lift, but then I introduce knee pressure. I should get a tap without a lot of movement. So we sit him down. We go, all right, Josh taught me Z-locks. I'm going to start to go for one, and you forget to grab the secondary leg. We're going to take him over to the other hip, locking a triangle as we start to go over. If he tries to continue the momentum, we're going to post our hand and stop him from taking us over that direction. We've got our shotgun grip on the left-hand side, ready to receive the heel. I'm going to make sure that I tuck my right shoelaces of this leg underneath his glute. I don't want it floating around here so he can pummel his knee and start to undo my lock. If he does try and pummel his knee and undo the lock, but my right shoelaces are underneath here, he's in a lot of trouble. This is actually preventing him from doing any further escapes. We're not doing escapes today, but if he wants to put his leg in here, it's actually harming him more than it is helping him. So we're going to prevent him from rolling us down to our face. We're going to keep our shotgun grip in nice and tight. We're going to lift our hips and then dig the heel. Once we've got the heel, we're pulling our elbow nice and tight to our ribs, so that if he tries to slip this, he breaks his own leg. It's going to be very tight. We're going to go palm to palm or hand to hand. This variation, because of how far you are leaning over this side, I don't usually go wrist to wrist. It feels a bit loose here. I go palm to palm and pull both elbows to my rib line here. Then it's just a matter of keeping nice and high, tight hands and rotating my right hip and my right leg over this direction. Let's give that a go.